David, a seasoned firefighter in Shasta County, was going through his usual morning routine when he received the call. A wildfire had broken out near a dry creek bed. The relentless Santa Ana winds had snapped a power line, and sparks had ignited the brittle, drought-stricken vegetation. Grabbing his gear, David hugged his wife and kids, then rushed out the door, fully aware that this fire could escalate into a battle that would last for days. So how the fire ignited? A neglected power line snapped under the relentless push of 90 mph Santa Ana winds. Sparks hit the bone-dry grass below, igniting a blaze almost instantly. Decades of overgrowth turned to kindling by years of drought, gave the flames an unstoppable momentum. Within minutes, the fire had consumed acres, and embers carried by the wind ignited new fires miles away. David arrived at the scene to chaos. Smoke blotted out the sky, and the heat was intense enough to warp metal. His team worked quickly, laying down fire breaks and dousing hot spots. But the wind made their efforts futile. Embers leapt over barriers, and the fire surged forward, swallowing everything in its path. The fire's relentless advance. The fire spread rapidly, driven by strong winds and dry conditions. It started with 500 acres, but soon reached a nearby forest with dry, dense underbrush that fueled the flames. When the fire hit the treetops, it became unstoppable, creating a firestorm. Embers carried by 90 mph winds started new fires miles ahead, which merged back into the main blaze. By nightfall, the fire had burned through 500 acres, destroying homes, forests, and lives. David's team was sent to protect the neighborhood, but the fire moved too fast, turning entire streets to ash as families fled with only what they could grab. David's team worked tirelessly through the night. They deployed emergency fire shelters, foil tents designed to reflect heat, and huddled inside as flames roared just feet away. For 30 agonizing minutes they waited, emerging to a landscape of smoldering ruins. The human cost. By the time the fire was contained weeks later, the damage was staggering. 60 lives lost, billions in economic losses. David's own home was spared, but many of his neighbors were not so lucky. Communities were decimated, leaving behind nothing but charred memories and broken lives. So what actually went wrong? Neglected infrastructure. The initial spark came from a power line that should have been replaced years ago. Drought. Years of insufficient rainfall had turned vegetation into a tinderbox. Winds? The Santa Ana winds spread embers over vast distances, igniting new fires faster than crews could respond. Urban expansion. Homes built near wildlands were directly in the fire's path. After the fire, David took on a new role: advocate. He spoke at town halls and lobbied for stricter fire safety regulations. He worked with his community to rebuild what the government couldn't accomplish. David did. So who's the real hero? For me, it's David.